Space Viking, Thor Odinson. He was no ordinary man. He was a god. After saving planet Earth for the 500th time, Thor set off on a new journey. Well, he got in shape. He went from dad bod to god bod. And after all that, he reclaimed his title as the one and only Thor. Oh, spoke too soon.
He's just my first bad guy.
You never forget your first.
You are not like the other gods of kill.
Because I have something worth fighting for.
What's going on, everyone? The Great Talent here, and today we're going to talk about Thor: Love and Thunder, the 4th installment in the Thor franchise, Legacy, MCU, whatever the fuck you want to call it at this point, phase 900,000, 7,500, and infinity, to infinity and beyond, because I can't keep up anymore with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was cute for the first phase or two or whatever. Now they're in phase 99, or I don't know. Anyway, folks, before we get into it, I just want to thank everybody for stopping by. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And let's just deep dive right into it. So, mild spoilers here just for the plot. Not going to get into anything too deep, too spoilerific. But, you know, so Thor: Love and Thunder takes place. Now, first of all, it's very retro out. It's very 80s, very rock and roll, my dudes. It is so fucking metal, like 80s. We're talking 80s hair metal and so on and so forth. They even have... They snuck in at the very end. This movie was pretty much sponsored by Guns N' Roses, first of all, because not only they had that Sweet Child of Mine theme playing, but they got a whole bunch of other Paradise City, Welcome to the Jungle. They got paraphernalia for Guns N' Roses. Like, it's like they're having a renaissance, and, you know, hey, good for them. Not my favorite metal band from the 80s, but still, it's rock and roll, so I'll go with it. They're playing their only 3 good songs they're playing in the movie. So all their other songs are kind of a little bit of shit. To me, anyway. But anyway, that's beside the point. They even snuck in a little bit of Ronnie James Dio, Rainbow in the Dark, at the very, very end. At the last song they played right before the credits roll. I remember before the credits finish rolling. And I was loving it. I ripped out my phone in the movie theater with my girlfriend. I was like, they're playing Dio. She was just like, okay, what does that mean? I'm like, but they're playing Dio. But anyway, so the movie pretty much it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's pretty good. I enjoyed it for the most part. It's not a perfect Thor movie. I don't think there is such a thing as a perfect any movie, but it's not as good as Ragnarok. I'll put it that way. And you can put all the shiny rock and roll, nostalgic bells and whistles on it you want, because that appeals to my persona. And it's still not going to stop it from being what the movie was, and that was a little bit too of a try-hard movie. And I'll explain what that means in a minute. But anyway, the plot is Thor just finished saving the world once again. You know, after Endgame, he gets in shape. He loses the fat gut. He gets into shape. He starts doing, you know, gets back into shape, looking like Thor again. And he's lost the passion for like life. So he just travels with the Guardians of the Galaxy, who haven't met. Little cameo in the brief cameo in the beginning of the movie for the first scene. You get to see the Guardians, what's left of them. And yeah, I would love to see more of the Guardians. I get it. They're in this movie just to kind of just promote next year's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. But at the same time, it felt like it was kind of just like, all right, they're making a cameo. It's not even necessary. They weren't really even doing much. They were just there. They didn't even have many lines. Like Star-Lord spoke a little bit. Then you had Rocket Raccoon speak for a line. Then I think it was Nebula spoke for a line. But other than that, I mean, it was funny. They were funny. I kind of wanted to see more of them because they're fucking Guardians. When they're together, they're fucking a riot. They're amazing. And but again, I get it. They didn't want to take the focus off of Thor. Makes a lot of sense. So let's just roll with it. It progresses on, and you see you know what's happening with Jane on Earthrealm as he's traveling the galaxy, saving the world. Jane has developed and this happened in the comic. I read up on it, so it did happen in the comic. So it's kind of true to the source, the origin point. In the comic, Jane Foster did develop a terminal cancer. And she had no other place to turn, so she instead of going to science, she turned to mythology and kind of like that. So, and she went to where Mjolnir was shattered, and the art, what do you call it, New Asgard, they're calling it, and they have like this museum, like kind of like this this place of like a ritual site with broken pieces of Mjolnir. She apparently is is you know, if you have terminal cancer, folks, you're worthy. So just go find Mjolnir. It'll make you live a little bit longer. So that's the whole story. It's like she's dying, but then when she gets her hands on Mjolnir, who chooses her to watch over her, blah blah blah. She becomes strong, and then she gets like fucking CGI arms, and it's so fucking silly. But she doesn't bother me. She doesn't. Natalie Portman, Padme, usually would bother me. It's just I just find her annoying for the most part. A lot of her like attitude is just annoying. But she wasn't bad in it. She was like kind of cool almost. And she did kind of do some things, cool things as the female Thor, Lady Thunder, and I thought it was pretty cool. You get to see you know, Chris Hemsworth kick ass. He always has a fucking ball with the role of Thor. So he's rocking Stormbreaker, the axe. She's rocking Mjolnir, the reforged hammer. They're kicking ass and taking names. Tessa Thompson is there, just being Tessa Thompson, and the Valkyrie in the background. She's just there because they need an extra body, I guess. And they're all just kicking ass and taking names. They go visit the gods of Olympia, blah, blah, blah. God Planet. You see Russell Crowe as a fat Zeus. He's in there. He sounds really good as Zeus. Not gonna get me wrong. His acting is really, obviously it's Russell Crowe. He's fucking phenomenal. But yeah, he was in there. You know, then you had they kind of just but the antagonist of the movie not only is like Natalie Portman back as a female Thor and rocks, shakes up Thor's world, but then you have the true threat, Gore the God Slayer. He was forged from like this like sword, this necro sword that kind of chose him as the God Slayer because like he was betrayed by one of his gods because they didn't want to save his family, and they were praying to him, and they died of starvation, and then the gods were mocking him for believing in them, and one of the gods, and he just killed another god in front of this Gore guy, and then he happened to kill, you know, just because the plot has to happen, this one god that he was praying to, Gore, happened to kill another god of death, and right next to him was this necro sword. It was like kind of like fucking sentient or whatever. Chose Gore, corrupted him, and he sent him on a quest to kill all the gods one by one. So we kind of now, to prevent all the gods from being killed, Thor teams up with I would call it Natalie Portperson. And then you have, as one of the other YouTubers calls it, and Tessa Thompson, and they go on a quest to try and defeat Thor and Gore. It's not bad. And then you got Korg, who's voiced by Taika Waititi for his only excuse of putting himself in his own movie. Isn't too annoying. I mean, he kind of is. I mean, honestly, because this is my problem with Thor Love and Thunder. I wanted to love this movie just because of its aesthetic, its rock and roll aesthetic. But it kind of comes off as obnoxiously over the top, antagonistically funny but not funny. Like, it tries really hard. This is what I'm going to get back to what I was saying earlier. It's a try-hard movie. In a sense, it doesn't let it flow as organically as Thor Ragnarok did, or even Guardians of the Galaxy with its humor. How they don't even need to try. It's organic. It just fucking works. They were trying so hard with these jokes. You couldn't even have a serious moment without. I mean, the only serious part of the movie, you couldn't even have a serious moment without there being a little joke or a snicker or a tongue-in-cheek at the end of the sentence. Except the very beginning of the movie with Christian Bale as Gore, who, another phenomenal performance by Christian Bale. Fucking nailed it. That was the only serious performance, and then the very end of the movie we got a little sad. But in between then, it's like, but even then it was like, all right, so no, don't be sad. It's fun and CGI and explosions and lightning and blah 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 and all this other crazy shit. It's a spectacle for the eyes, a little too much at times, because some of it you're like, okay, this is obviously just fake. You can obviously see it's a green screen. You can not even see it, you could feel it, you could sense that the green screen is there at almost all times. And you know, bless these actors, man, because they're pretending to see shit half the time it's not even there. Even in the background, looking at a horizon or a green screen, you got to be really a good actor or actress to pretend to see shit in the background when there's nothing really there but a green fucking blob. So kudos and hats off to them. But again, I just wasn't really, like, it was good. It was a solid movie, which is going to get to my score in a second. But like, if I had to rank the Thor movies at this point in time, I'm going to go Thor Ragnarok number one. I will go as far as say the first Thor movie, and you know, slay me for saying this. First Thor was number two just because of Tom Hiddleston as Loki. Loki fucking is awesome. He's amazing. And Anthony Hopkins. Then I would put Love and Thunder as number three, and then Dark World, which we never talk about because it's fucking snooze fest movie, who I even, like, some people don't even know. Like my girlfriend, she watched all the Marvel movies, and she was like, I don't even remember. That was even a movie? She had no idea that movie even existed, because it's just such a forgettable fucking movie. But anyway, with that being said, if I had to score Thor Love and Thunder on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a solid 7 out of 10. It's a decent movie. It's a solid 7. It's a good movie. What prevents it from being higher, again, it's the tone, it's the obnoxiousness of the movie. They think they got Thor figured out, so they're going all in with this make Thor fun again or whatever, but you don't have to be funny all the time. You don't. You can have it serious moments. You can have it again, some of the little cheesy plot moments where it's like, all right, Gore's cool and all, but then, you know, they go to the world of the gods, and it's like I feel like they were just, it was just kind of just like a tacked on addition just to have a setup for Thor 4. Now, speaking of Thor 4, there will be, I mean, Thor 5 setup, and after the post-credit scene, you kind of know who the villain's going to be in Thor 5 without me spoiling anything. And I'm excited for Thor 5, but they had to have that setup, and that's why the gods were there with Zeus and all that other shit. So that was the only real purpose of that. That scene lasted like maybe 2.5, maybe 3 minutes, and they built it up so much, and it was over before you knew it. It was kind of a little bit lackluster for me. That's another word that comes to mind for this movie, lackluster. A little lackluster movie, but I'm giving it a 7 because the rock and roll soundtrack pretty much saved it. And from giving it a lower score, I have a soft spot for my rock and rolls. But yeah, anyway, that's my review of Thor Love and Thunder. Let me know what you guys and gals think in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch everybody next time. Thanks, as always, for stopping by.